Hi, everyone.
Hi there.
It's Alicia Davis
I'm Stacy Watson.
from Transformative Leadership Strategies.
Indeed.
And we are going to talk about a topic today that everybody seems to be talking about, asking us about.
So interesting. This happens, right? From time to
It does.
time, we find that these themes, Carl Jung talked about the collective unconscious, about how people would be coming up with these same concepts or ideas in different parts of the world, and there would be no way they could have talked to each other,
That's
but
right.
yet they're all sort of thinking about it.
That's right.
And that's what we find sometimes in this business that we're running, in our practice, right?
Right, exactly. Like people are, and so the topic that we wanted to just talk about briefly today was diversity and inclusion.
Yeah, with really the capital I inclusion part of that, right?
Exactly. So we've been talking to a manufacturing company, we've been talking to behavioral health nonprofit, we've been talking to
Health services,
like
yeah.
a gamut of organizations, a range. And those words, even we just had our nonprofit leadership roundtable this morning, same thing. We want to be more inclusive.
Right.
So why does that matter to an organization, Steve, so much, do you think?
Well, it's really interesting. The other thing we often hear from these same organizations is the way that we've managed in the past will not help us succeed or thrive in the future. We need to have innovation. We need people who are curious. We need to have diversity of all kinds because we can no longer be static. We have to evolve.
Right.
And there's no way to create an environment where people can be curious and innovate and evolve if they don't feel like they have a place at the table.
Right. And it's also, right, we've also been talking about diversity kind of 2.0, right? That kind of next level of diversity. It's not just about sexual orientation or skin color or any of those more traditional, but it's diversity of thought.
It is.
And that's really what leads to innovation.
Yes.
Right?
Even this morning in our leadership roundtable, we were talking about diversity of values. Where
that's right.
People might have different things that they value. And sometimes that creates a conflict you can't overcome. And then sometimes it really can create more than having the one, which is the whole idea of inclusion.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. And inclusion at its essence really means to be able to offer the same kind of openness or spaciousness. You know, I have a different opinion than you. I have a different value than you. How can I sit here in my discomfort, right? Because we don't like things that are different.
That's right.
And how can I just sit here and have you have your experience and I have mine, and that's okay. Like the essence of inclusion is how can we put everybody around a table, as broad ranging as we are, and really deeply listen and connect, right, with each other in really meaningful ways, both from a thinking perspective and from a feeling perspective.
Right. And when organizations are able to do that, what happens is this magic sort of alchemy of energy that can take place, because you do have these different people around the table, and is out of that space that innovation and evolution can come.
That's right.
So one of the things we've done in response to this kind of outpouring of requests around this idea of inclusion and how can we create an environment, because you can't force someone to be inclusive.
Right.
And we know that. So one of the things that we've done is to actually create a coaching program that is utilized by organizations to really help people first understand maybe why they don't include. That's not their go-to response, right? And then how, if you wish to be more inclusive, what are some of the skills and strategies you can use to do that?
That's right, because we always hear across the board an organization wants teams to align, right? They want to align around values and vision. So we start off with that process of aligning, and then it's all about self-reflection, right? It's all about you as a leader need to know who you are, what your values are, and then how you bring that to the table, and that's the reflection part of the connection points, right?
Exactly.
And then it's all about how do we communicate, right?
Always
we hear
about
this across the board.
That's
communicate, always an issue. So we teach about and coach around conscious and intentional communication.
Yes, absolutely.
And then another connection point is about that, how do we deepen a relationship with someone? So deepening means how can I be empathetic?
Right.
Right? How can I have a feeling of kindness and regard and respect and trust, right? But we hear this all the time, right?
And it is in this deepening place that inclusion really thrives.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
And then the last connection point that we have is the integration, right? How do you live this every day, every way, as a leader, as a team, in an organization, and then just kind of in life, right? Wherever you go, there you are, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
So that's our new connection points program.
Yes,
And
we're super
we are,
excited.
we're just really excited about this conversation. And so if
Yes.
you have thoughts about diversity and inclusion, whether it's for your organization or just kind of in general, we would love to talk with you, hear about it. So ping us, email us.
Right.
And
respond on social media, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
next week.
Bye-bye.